y'all remember when y'all were a little kid and you'd go to Granddaddy Thibodeau's house or wherever, and she'd have a surprise for you, and you'd have to sit there and you'd have to wait until you got home, and you always got in trouble because Mama always told you, hey, don't open that in the car. You got to wait till we get home before you can play with it. And occasionally, you know, you'd get your ass beat because, you know, you didn't listen and you opened it up in the car. Well, my patience level has not improved because, you know, when you get a new toy, you just want to play with it. So yeah, let's go play with it, y'all. Mach-Cleetus lives. You know, it never really occurred to me that taking a 175 mile an hour capable motorcycle out on its maiden voyage, at least for the first time with my ass in the seat, probably wasn't the best idea whenever we got a 100% chance of rain in the forecast for today. Hey y'all, everybody's favorite bumpkin here. Guess what? The view from the cockpit is a little bit different today, and there's a reason for that. Cleetus lives, y'all, and figure what the hell, you know? What better way to give it a shakedown run than to drive 35 miles from home base over to the ride factory to where I can pick up the title and the paperwork on this thing to where I can actually go get a tag, because you know, nothing bad can happen in 70 miles, right? I mean, surely they will excuse my minor oversight that I forgot to grab it with my stuff Saturday night. Yeah, they'll be understanding about that, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. So like I was saying, this is kind of a bittersweet thing for me because new to me a motorcycle that I've not ever had any seat time on before, at least not on a personal level. And hey, guess what? It just got done raining, and I've got about a 2-hour window here where I can haul ass over to the ride factory, pick up the paperwork for this thing, get back to the tag office, hopefully get the tags on it, and then I may or may not be getting my ass drowned trying to get back to the house. Chances are, y'all know me, I probably will. But also, if y'all know me, I'll ride in damn near anything. But considering that this is the first time that I've been on this bike, and I've never ridden this bike in the rain, period, at all, ever, or a ZX11 Ninja in the rain at all, ever, I'm going to be a little bit conservative with things today. Call me a nanny boy, whatever, but hey, I don't feel like wadding this thing up in a ball on my first day. Because, let me tell you, this thing wants to run. Oh boy, does it want to run. Yes. This is everything that I remember and everything I hoped it would be, because this thing is incredibly smooth right now. I mean, sure, you get a little bit of vibration through the handlebars, through the seat, but hey, that's just enough to let you know that, hey, there's a whole hell of a lot more going on underneath the paint job here than what you're thinking about right now. Oh yeah, here we go. Yay, rain. Well, I figured I was going to get my ass wet one way or the other today, so what the hell? Let's jump off into it, shall we? I just hope it don't smoke down my GoPro, man. I will say this, though, initial impressions, oh yeah, daddy like you a lot. Because you're not folded up like some kind of a contortionist on this bike. I mean, granted, this bike's got handlebar risers on there that somebody's added previously, and it may not seem like a whole lot, but bringing the clip-ons up by about an inch and a half, that makes a big difference on riding position, especially if you're a taller dude like me. You know, I mean, it takes some of the pressure off your wrist, takes some of the weight off your forearms, and especially if you're a guy like me that makes his living with his hands, you know, at the end of the day, little stuff like that goes a long way towards the creature comfort factor. Okay, this is torture right now. Road's a little slimy because what rain we've got, it ain't been much, so you still get that that funk film that builds up on the highway and it gets loosened up. And you know how when it first starts raining, you kind of get that slimy feel, you know, like nothing's really connected all that great. Yeah, that's where we are right now. And it does not do anything for boosting the confidence level, let me tell you. I mean, it's not like my butt's puckered up or anything right now. I mean, I'm sure you can still drive a 10-penny nail up there with a 10-pound sledgehammer, okay? We have not reached that level of discomfort yet. However, we are always vigilant and always observant, especially on a new-to-us motorcycle. Because, you know, it's kind of like dating, you know? You got to feel each other out. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you have in common, what's going to be a point where you got to compromise on. You know, I mean, it's kind of like life. Oh, God, here we are talking about philosophical life shit. I think I am in the wrong wheelhouse. All right, let's get back to talking about bikes, because that's what I know. Right now, this thing is just barely getting into its sweet spot. I mean, right now, I'm just barely doing 70 miles an hour, mostly because rain and, you know, traffic and all the damn tourists and sightseers that are starting to filter in on account of spring break. Thanks, Mr. Calendar. But anyway, the vibration that this bike puts out is very, very minimal. It's almost imperceptible at RPMs like this, because basically for this bike, this is more or less running at a fast idle right now. And that also kind of hammers home why so many people did so many iron butts and so many long-haul sport touring miles on these things back in the day, and also, you know, here more recently. You know, it's a comfortable platform. It's nice, it's comfy, the ergos are good, you got room where you can stretch out a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, it ain't no Gold Wing, but man, a Gold Wing ain't gonna dance like this. The Gold Wing may have bought the dress, but she damn sure wore the wrong shoes to that party. I am hoping really hard I can thread the needle here and get over to Tampa, grab the paperwork for this thing, and get my ass back to St. Pete before the bottom falls out of it. But right now, the odds ain't looking that great. As it is, the road's damp, and I'm in my courting phase with this motorcycle, so any of you guys that was hoping to see some, oh my God, this is insane type of ride footage out of this bike, I hate to disappoint you, but that's not going to happen today. Whoopsie. Well, apparently a Tesla driver was busy servicing themselves in auto drive mode, and they had a boo-boo. And by servicing themselves, well, yeah, y'all know what I mean. Keep it clean, y'all. Mama watches these. Well, you can tell it's been a while since I've been on a sport bike, because I'm reacquainting myself with the fact that most of the rear view mirrors on sport bikes suck, and this one is only marginally better. You got to do a little bit of the elbow tuck and dip your head out of the bubble to see what's behind you, but you know, it's not terrible. You just got to retrain the brain just a little bit. And if I could ever get out from behind this Kia here. Yep, there we go. Don't get me wrong, I still don't have anywhere near the amount of road I need to let this thing have its head. And it's telling me that right now. Because right now we're barely tapping, what, 4,500 RPM. Yeah, we're just now getting into the sweet spot where this thing wants to kind of come on the pipe, so to speak, and that's where she starts making good power. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes good power everywhere, but that's where that's the entrance into the, hey boys, hold on to your hats zone, because it just builds from there like a damn freight train. Oh yeah, yay me, here we are getting into actual rain. I hope my camera don't poop itself, because even though I got it in a case. That case is not exactly waterproof. So we're going to cross our fingers and hope for the best, okay? This is my penance. Yep. Welcome to Florida. Well, let's look at the upside here, guys. Right now, with the way I've got to ride this bike because of the weather and, you know, my inexperience level with it, it's going to be outstanding for gas mileage. Oh, yeah, we're definitely in active rain now. Hope the GoPro holds out. Yeah, one thing we're going to invest in here in the very near future for this bike is going to be a throttle lock, because, you know, 30-odd years turning wrenches for a paycheck and various other high-strain type activities. Hey, let's be real here, y'all. I was a teenager in the 90s, okay? So what's that tell you? Let's just say there was a lot of late nights on channel 52 where the images were blurry on the cable box, but if you knew how to look in between the lines just right, you knew what was going on. Got a case of the tingles. Tingles, hell, I got a full-blown case of the numbsies in my index and my second finger. And welcome to early morning Tampa traffic. Just had rain. It'll get worse, because it always does. It's weird. People down here, I think it's because of the sun exposure that we have in such great amounts, because it instantly wipes out any and all traces of what it's like to drive in the rain every single time. It's like it's a new experience for everybody. The first time it happens, like, oh my God, what do we do? I don't know. Here, let's try this. Yep, throttle lock's going on the short list. I'll be honest, the one on my Roadstar's got me spoiled. But that also kind of explains why I've got the bar set up on my Roadstar that I have. Because, you know, hey, when you've turned a wrench for a paycheck for 30 plus years, you know, things kind of hurt and don't work as good as they used to, you know, so you gotta work around it just a little bit. Yeah, she's starting to slick up a little bit. When I first took off on this thing, the clutch was a little snatchy grabby, gearbox was a little clunky, but you got to keep in mind, guys, this bike had been sitting mostly laid up and dormant with very little ride time on it for the past few years, just because of the issues it was having and also the issues that was created for it by some people with less than stellar gray matter capacity, let's put it that way. All right, they gave us a master class on what not to do and how not to do it. But I will say this, she is getting back to the nice, smooth and refined big ass weapon of war that I very vividly remember from my younger years. And I gotta say, for never having ridden one of these things in the rain, I'm kind of impressed, because you got decent wind coverage on you. I mean, honestly, I'd be wetter on the roadie than I am right now. And, you know, with the bubble on here, it does a decent job of moving air up and over you and taking the rain along with it. Really about the only thing that's like wet right now is my lower legs and my feet. And, you know, I mean, hey, work buckets, y'all. I got enough oil and grease and all that kind of crap soaked into those things. They are pretty much the most waterproof thing that I am wearing right now. And so far, the pitties ain't swimming. So, hey, we'll go with that. This feels very odd to me right now because, you know, my lizard brain is programmed on my, you know, daily commute back and forth to work, and it's the same environment, but seeing it from a completely unfamiliar motorcycle in an absolutely different point of view, it puts an entire different spin on things. I mean, the rain ain't helping either, but it's not that I'm crying about the rain, y'all. Y'all know me. I ride year-round down here in Florida because, you know, hey, that's what you do in Florida. If it rains, big deal. You'll dry out. Thing is, seeing it from going through my normal daily routine, my normal route and everything, going through all that on a different bike, especially one that's foreign to me, so to speak, it makes you pay a lot more attention because of what's going on with the bike, but also you pay a lot more attention and you see a lot more of the stuff around you. What I'm paying attention to right now is the fact that I need to find some anti-fog whenever I get to the shop, because it's been a while since I've worn this helmet rig, and you know, hey, it helps if you can see. I mean, sight's a plus, big plus. I ain't gonna lie. I need over there, thank you, sir. Eventually I need over there. Get behind the big boy here. I'm very tempted to stop and get my daily dose of Fat Kid fuel here at BK, but I know that's not going to help my cause any, because this rain ain't going away. Forecast says it's just going to build worse and worse throughout the day, so this is going to be a quickie hit and run, and then we're making a U-turn and hauling ass back to the house, y'all. Speaking of getting back to the house, we may take the crosstown because it looks like it may be a little clearer down that way. I had to come over and get the title, bro. Well, like a dumbass, I forgot to take the title home with me. What's up, man? Okay. Paperwork acquired. Ass sufficiently dampened. So let's do it all again, kids. Head back to St. Pete and go sit at the tag office. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Well, you know, what else are you going to do on a shitty rainy Florida day? You stay. Ugh, hate it when people do that. I will say one thing, my lower legs and feet are staying sufficiently warm right now, so that kind of reinforces my suspicion that during the heat of the summer, this thing's going to be a wee bit toasty in traffic. But that's okay, because the juice is definitely worth the squeeze. I mean, come on, y'all. Besides, it's not every day you get handed the keys to your very own personal guided missile, especially when you're the dumb monkey that's the guidance system. Soggy ass day in Ybor, but hey, it is what it is. And oddly enough, I think the gas gauge in this thing actually works, because I'm seeing it move. I've seen exactly 2 spots on the gas gauge on this bike's tenure with me up to this point. Dead empty and dead full. It looks like we may actually find a happy medium in between the two somewhere eventually. But that's why we got that magical thing on the petcock called reserve. That's for the just in case times. Now it is a little clearer down here. Maybe it'll keep us out of the bulk of the rain. Not that I'm worried about it. It's not like I'm delicate or anything. It's just, man, I want some dry pavement. That way I can... Yeah, y'all know. I mean, when you get a new toy, you want to play with it, damn it. And I mean, it's just... I had to crack open the visor a little bit to kind of clear some fog, because my dumb ass forgot to find any anti-fog whenever I was at the shop. But in my defense, I mean, motorcycles like this tend to inspire heavy breathing on operators, particularly under conditions such as these. Namely, whenever the road is slicker than greased owl shit, and it's raining, and you ain't never ridden one of these damn things in the rain before, and oh yeah, it's been a long damn time since you've been on a bike that's got this much ridiculous, I mean just ridiculous power on tap. And you know, they let a completely untrained, unprofessional, self-educated, you know, boob like me, they arbitrarily let me just do whatever I feel I need to do with something like this. So yeah. Oh, we may have made a grievous error in judgment taking the crosstown back to St. Pete from the looks of it. Time will tell. I do think that here in the near future we're going to look at putting a chain on Big Z here, because I can hear this kind of a rhythmic wonka 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 at certain RPM, you know, whenever I'm going slower to where I don't have a whole lot of wind noise. And I know that the chain on this thing's got a little bit of a tight spot in it. It wasn't anything that really put a big flag up on the radar, but whenever I can hear them going down the road like that, yeah, you know, if it's got enough wear in it and enough irregularity in it to make a racket like that, you ain't gonna hurt nothing by changing it out. So yeah, we'll be chain shopping here in the near future. Come on, doofus, dial it back just a little bit, okay? Today is not the day that you want to experience sensory overload from being a prime example of kinetic energy. What, dude, come on over. Come on over, you can do it, little buddy. There you go. Right now, the weather looks like a part of a Steve Earle song is popping into my head. With the skies as cold as lead and steel forged into the tools of war. Well, we're on a tool of war right now, that's for damn sure, because back in the 90s when the speed wars were going on in the metric motorcycle world, Kawasaki pretty much put everybody on their back foot whenever they dropped the bomb with this thing on the rest of the world. Now, up to this point in this video, I have been extremely conservative with this bike, and for obvious reasons, you know, but this thing is smooth, it is slick, and it's comfortable. I could definitely see crushing some miles on this thing in the very near future. Yeah, probably not the best choice of helmets to wear on a bike like this, because, yeah, what kind of chucklehead wears a more or less dirt bike helmet when you're on a sport bike that's capable of a $175, you know, with the peak and everything on it? Yeah, this idiot right here. In my defense, this is the only helmet I got a camera rig set up on right now, guys. My new modular helmet I've been wearing for the past couple of months, still kind of feeling that thing out, and I'm not entirely sure if it's something I'm going to stick with or if I'm going to send it on down the road and do something different. It's got a few things going for it, but it's got a couple of things that I don't like about it neither, and right now I'm kind of in that whole, yeah, maybe no kind of phase. I don't know. Time will tell. I hope my GoPro's hanging in there. I don't know at this point. Tell you one thing, I don't know if the camera's hanging in there or not, but my boots damn sure ain't. Hey, you stop right there. My tootsies are getting soggy here, y'all. And honestly, the biggest reason from that is because my boots that I wear, well, they're lightweight, they're summer boots, and they got drains on the inside of them. And that's all well and good, but the problem with the drain is whenever you're doing 70 plus mile an hour on a motorcycle in the rain, guess what? Water gets blown in them. First couple times everybody at work saw me putting duct tape on my boots whenever I was leaving to go home, they looked at me like I had a hole in my head. And then I explained why, and they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It may be rainy, it may be soggy, and I don't give a damn because I'm having a good time. What the fuck is that? The hell is all that shit? I've no idea what that is. I don't know. I think I may have got bird bombed, but if I did, they got some weird dietary things going on there. Introduce you guys to the Florida picnic table, better known as the trash can at your local Wawa. Hey there, pupper. I ain't doing nothing to you. Let's navigate ourselves to the tag office, shall we? Because we've already tempted fate enough for one day. We need to get a license plate on this thing. That boy was crazy. He plays too rough, he plays too loud. So I cut my teeth in the honky-tonks, playing for that chicken wire crowd. You know what, guys? It may be raining right now here in Florida. I may be half-ass soaked to the bone, but it's a damn sight better than being stuck in that. Come on, Mr. Traffic Signal, do your thing. I gotta say, for being a 31-year-old change motorcycle, Big Zed here is surprisingly well behaved. That right there is one thing that I really dig about big bore inline 4 bikes, because especially in a sport bike chassis, you ain't got to sit there and roll through the gearbox like you do on a 600. You got torque everywhere. And for the most part, you can just leave the thing stuck in 6th gear and just roll into it, and you got plenty of grunt and plenty of giddy up and go. Now, the whole giddy up and go part, that's what we got to worry about on a day like this, because let's be real, it's slicker than greased out shit out there right now, especially because we got this brand ass new pavement that they have just put down here when they're repaving US 19 here in St. Petersburg. So, you know, pucker factor's a little high, I ain't gonna lie. Just got to watch out for it, that's all. You just got to get in the right space in your head, get some good tunes going, get your rhythm going, get your blood flowing. When I informed the beloved wife unit this morning of my intent to go get tags on the motorcycle, I made mention that I had to go to Ybor first, where I could pick up the paperwork for this thing so I could get tags on said motorcycle. Grievous oversight on my part. Her advice and her request was, please be careful. I told her, baby, I ain't gonna be nothing but, because this thing is a weapon of war. Speaking of weapons of war, the war I'm referring to was the top speed wars that the Japanese manufacturers were so thoroughly entrenched in back in the late 80s and early 90s. And we got a lot of kick-ass motorcycles out of that. We wound up with the ZX-11 here. We wound up with the FZR 1000 from Yamaha. Honda's CBR 1100 Blackbird, that was their offering. Suzuki struggled along with the 1100 Katana and the GSX-R 1100 for several years, and then they finally got tired of playing second fiddle, and they copied everybody else's technology like Suzuki is wont to do, and they put a little bit of a twist on it. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take that away from them. They put in some homework on it, and they come up with Hayabusa. Now, I know there's a lot of Hayabusa fanboys out there that are going to poo-poo what I'm fixing to say, but you know what? It is what it is, because if it was not for the ZX-11, the Hayabusa would not exist on this planet, okay? I will argue that point until my dying breath. Fight me. And let's be real here, y'all. Big Zed here, he may be 30 years old. He may be able to go buy a 12-pack without having to bust out his papers to, prove to the little girl behind the counter that he's legal to buy. But you know what? On any given day, on any given back road, I'm willing to bet that Hayabusa, you're going to have to work for it, son. Because this thing is in no way, shape, form, or fashion anywhere close to laying down and rolling over for you. Oh, it looks like a joyous day at the Pinellas County Tag Office. Got the line hanging out the door in the rain. This is going to be amazing. Okay, kids. Minor pause while I go do battle with the Pinellas County Tax Commissioner. It only hurts for a little bit. Just be gentle. At least I hope it's a damn minute. No, my luck, it's gonna be 3 hours. All right, gang. So after 2.5 hours sitting at the tag office, freezing my Nadleys off, I come out to this glorious, invigorating springtime floor today. It's kind of dreary, it's kind of icky, it's kind of wet, and this is kind of anticlimactic. So got the tags, we're legal, we're good to go. Only problem is the rest of the world ain't good to go, because it's wet, it's cold, it's slick out there, and I got to get my butt to the house because I got some stuff that I got to do. Got some parts over at the house that I'm making. No, actually, I'm not making them. I'm repairing them for a customer of ours at the Ride Factory. He's got a set of wheels that are a little beat up, and he really, really likes them on his bike, and he wants to keep them. So I got to fix them. So I'll give you guys a little peek at that stuff whenever we get to that point, and I'll start putting all that together. But for the time being, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna put some dry clothes on because I did not bring my rain gear with me, because no bags. And hey, we're gonna go dry off a little bit. Just some minor parking lot flooding, that's all. Oh, and by the way, TJ, these things fit pretty good now, especially since they're soaked and stretched and a little gushy. Now I just got to keep them on for the next few hours, that way they finally form out to me. Oh, we are definitely getting out of this lane. Yeah. That's Florida living right there, folks. Yeah. Because when it rains, the water's got to go somewhere, because whenever we're in the dry season, the water table's 18 inches under your feet at any given time. That's kind of what happens whenever they build the whole damn state on a giant sandbar. Go figure. And Taco Bell needs to up their landscape game a little bit. Actually, there's a lot that Taco Bell needs to up their game on. Landscaping's the least of their worries. Okay, well, let's see here. We got parts coming in for the Eliminator. We got Mach-Cleetus here up and running. Oh yeah, we got to show the roadie a little bit of love. Old Bastard Glide's got a fork seal that we got to deal with, and there's a few other things here and there that I've been putting off for a while. So looks like we got our next victim to go up on the lift there at the temple. Oh, pothole, 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 bomb crater. Yeah, we're going to avoid that. Okay, we're back at the temple. We got some dry clothes. We're in full flip-flop mode, and I got some work I got to do for a customer at the ride factory on my stuff here at the house. Got a customer up there. He's got a, well, it's a credit card chopper. Yeah, you know the type. Okay, big tank, big bars, long forks, big fat ass tire in the back. But the thing is, this dude genuinely loves his bike. Okay, and it's a good looking bike. Don't get me wrong. The only problem is the company that manufactured this motorcycle has long since gone the way of the dodo bird. Subsequently, the wheels for his bike are out of production, and I can't find one anywhere. Now, the problem is he had a wheel bearing failure way back when, and somebody had replaced the original tapered two-piece cup and cone style wheel bearings, the old style Timken bearings that Harley's used forever and ever. They replaced those with a sealed bearing. No problem, right? Not quite. Well, whenever they did that, on the pulley side, the wheel bearing was set into the wheel so far from the pulley that the pulley was pulling sideways. You got to keep in mind, y'all, this is an 8.5-inch wide wheel on this dude's bike. So what happens is it's trying to pull this wheel sideways in the frame, and it side-loaded the bearing, and eventually the bearing folded up and it crumbled and it failed. Well, when it did that, it spun the outer race of that sealed bearing in the wheel hub, and it trashed the wheel hub. Now, these wheels are a modular wheel, and they bolt together with individual hubs that bolt into a wheel center. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I had to make a new axle for this bike about 2 years ago, something like that, and we replaced the wheel bearings then. And I told him that eventually he was going to have to address this issue. Well, fast forward 2 years, we've come full circle. Here we are. The bearings crapped in it again, and that was just because of a poor fit in the bore at the time. There wasn't really a whole lot we could have done about it then, but I got an idea in my head, and I'm rolling with it. So what we're doing, we're taking his hubs, and I bored this out after I blueprinted everything and got all the dimensions off of it. I'm taking a solid slug of aluminum, and we're going to press it in there just like so, lock it in with a little bit of Loctite 680, and then I'm going to reestablish the bore for the actual bearing here in the aluminum slug. Now, this isn't the material that we're using. This is just something I reached over and happened to grab for, show and tell purposes, because y'all know me. I'm big on visual aid kind of stuff, okay? So here's your visual aid / demotivational video segment of the day. This is you. Yeah. This is the guy she told you not to worry about. Don't make you feel real good now, does it? Okay, now all kidding aside here, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these wheel hubs and I'm going to heat them in the oven for, half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. We'll cook them at about 300 degrees just to get them nice and toasty, because everything grows. Everything swells a little bit at that time. Well, I'm going to have those repair slugs, and I'm going to have the OD of them turned down to the dimension that I want, and I'm going to stick those in the freezer and get them good and chilled down, and then we're going to slather Loctite 680 on top of everything, and we're going to smash it together in a 20-ton press, and then we're going to jig it back up in the lathe, then we're going to rebore it for the bearing center and also the spigot that protrudes out from the face of the hub that supports the pulley on the one side and the brake rotor over on the other side. But in this case, what I'm doing on the drive side of his wheel hub, I'm boring that bearing pocket deeper, because I'm going to take 3 of those bearings and I'm going to stack them up one by one by one on that one side of the hub, and we're doing 2 bearings over on the other side. That way we can widen out the amount of load width that we have in these wheel hubs. That way it helps deal with the side loading from this bike having a big fat ass tire on a big wide ass wheel. Simple, right? Well, if you guys watch a lot of machining shit on YouTubes and stuff like that, it seems like these guys can knock this stuff out in about 20 minutes. Here to tell you, that ain't the case, okay? Now, real world, by the time it's all said and done, I'm going to have about 8 to 10 hours tied up in fixing these two hubs. Is it worth it? Well, to my customer it is, because he likes his wheels, he likes his bike, and he just wants his bike back. Because guess what, y'all? Trailer Week starts next week in Daytona. That's right. We'll have him on the road by then, and we'll get him out there to where he can go hell yeah brother up and down the strip there at Daytona, just like everybody else. Mark, I love you, man. Hey, it's always a pleasure working on your bike. Me and Shelby, we love seeing you come into the shop every time you come around. It's all in good fun, brother. Don't take it bad. Today's ride with Mach-Cleetus was an eye-opener in a couple of areas. Number one, yes, these bikes are ridiculously powerful, even though they're 30-odd years old at this point. Number two, it just goes to show you how a few small things here and there that are slightly out of whack can add up to being one big damn problem, and ends up with a bike that'll barely pull its ass out of its own way. And I'd say that we proved that fairly well with Mach-Cleetus. Now, it runs, it rides, it pulls, it's smooth, it idles. It does everything it's supposed to do. But does it run like a ZX-11? Unfortunately, because of the weather, I wasn't able to find that out today. But you can bet your ass that I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with me whenever I can find out. So anyway, guys, I got to get back to work on fixing Mark's hubs. And, oh, yeah, by the way, slight footnote here. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon site yet, where the link to the JTMJ Discord is, hey, go give it a peep, okay? It's free 30, free, doesn't cost you a dime, but the thing is, we're adding more members every day. We're building a hell of a knowledge base over on Patreon, and the main thing is, we're there because we want to know about bike, okay? We like bike, we work bike, we live bike, we ride bike. That's what we do, because that's what we're about here at JTMJ. We like bike. Don't care what it is. Don't care if it's a Harley. I don't care if it's a brand new CBR, GS, XR, PM, LO, RM, FW, whatever in the hell it is, or if you got a 50-year-old classic. If you got a problem, stop in. Put it out there. I guarantee you somebody will be along very shortly to help you out. All right? Anyway, y'all, just remember, till I get a chance to see you next trip, I love y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Force will be with you, always.